Hello, welcome everybody. Good evening. How y'all doing? If you guys can hear me, just say I can. Welcome everyone. Good evening. And where you guys coming in from? What state? What country? Hey, Belly's in the house. Welcome. How are you doing? Oh, good. Wonderful. Wonderful. Guys, welcome to Not Easily Broken. I am indeed excited to be here with you guys this evening. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. For those of you that are new to our page, Toronto's in the house, California's in the house. Hey, what's going on? God bless you all. Thank you guys for joining me. It's always a pleasure to be here with you guys, all right? And so for those of you, Sydney, Australia is in the house. Welcome, Sydney, Australia. We honor you guys. Melbourne, Australia is in the house. Wow. God bless you. Wow. God is good. Now, I want to have this conversation. All right. I want to have this conversation with y'all. Thank you for joining. Chicago's in the house. Welcome, Chicago. Florida's in the house. We have Louisiana's in the house. Welcome. London is in the house. Wow, London is here. God bless you all. The international crew is showing up, and we appreciate you guys. We honor you guys. We love you all. And again, guys, welcome to Not Easily Broken. It is all about the knot. It's about getting stronger in your marriage. It's about two not coming together as one. You are not easily broken. We're all about inspiring you. We're all about fusing passion and inspiring you to build stronger marriages and stronger relationship. And we expect that you will do it God's way, because yes, He is the foundation. He is all about what marriage is about. And once you put God first and you work on your marriage, you can have a successful marriage. And so I want to talk to you, especially this is mostly for the husband. We get a lot of DMs all the time. We hear from a lot of husband. We hear from a lot of wife too. And there's a lot of different complaints between the male and the female, the husband and the wife, right? And so a lot of times we hear wives talk about their husband doesn't know how to talk to them. My husband doesn't talk to me. He doesn't communicate with me. He doesn't say a lot. He rarely speak to me. His language is very limited. And so I want to talk about this, why it's important for a man to not speak negative words to his wife. It is critical. It is serious when a husband speak negative things to his wife. And I want to take you back to the Bible, because I believe that the Word of God is the final authority as it relates to life, as it relates to the biblical understanding and principles of marriage. When we look at the scripture in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18, the Bible said that God said, "It's not good for man to be alone. I will create for him help." And so God put the man to sleep. He took a rib from the man and he created the woman. When God created the woman, the Bible said that God presented Eve to Adam. God presented her. In other words, God showcased her. She was on display. Adam woke up out of his sleep and he saw this beautiful, amazing, gorgeous, wonderful. Eve was drop dead gorgeous. Everything was in the right place. Gravity was not pulling her down. She was just a beautiful, fine, gorgeous lady. But the first thing Adam did was not touch her body. Adam didn't try to flirt with her or anything of that sort. The first thing Adam did was speak into her life. It is so critical. It is so important for a man to understand the language of his wife, to understand her rhythm, know exactly what drives her, what motivates her, what pulls her towards him, what allows her to be vulnerable, what allows her to feel safe in the relationship. And so the Bible said that Adam speak into her life. A man must know exactly how to prophesy to his wife by using words, using language that she will understand. And so Adam opened his mouth and he looked at Eve and he said, "Wow, what a beautiful, gorgeous, fine, amazing woman." And he said, "You are bone of my bone. You are flesh of my flesh. I will call you woman because you came out of me. Wherefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one." Adam spoke into her life. Why is it that the first thing Adam did was speak to his wife? Because Adam understand by God's creative plan for a man that there are certain characteristics, there are certain personality, there's certain behavior pattern for his wife, in his wife, that can only be unlocked by the way the man speak to her. Oh, I'm going to teach this tonight. It can only be unlocked by the way the husband speak to his wife. See, when a man speak to his wife, she's not hearing words. She's experiencing words. When you speak to her, she's feeling the very words that you speak. That's why oftentimes you hear a woman say that, oh, he doesn't communicate with me, he doesn't talk with me. Because there's something about a woman that she desire a man that knows exactly how to speak to her. Language is absolutely important in the marriage, not just for the wife. It is also important for the husband. But I think it's more critical for the husband to know exactly how to speak to his wife. That's why you should never, ever speak negative words to your wife. Never. I don't speak negative words to my wife. Even if I am thinking something negative, I never speak it out to her. Because you see, a woman understand what word does. You know, it really creates an atmosphere. For example, if you call your wife fat, what do you think she's experiencing? Think about that for a moment. When a man call a woman out of her name, what do you think that you're doing? You're dishonoring her. And so it's important for a husband to understand that language, the words that you speak to your wife will either build her up or it will tear her down. It will elevate her self-image or you will assassinate the very image that she's trying to maintain. You know, oftentimes you find, you know, men say things like, you know what, you put on a lot of weight, you're not beautiful anymore, you're not attractive like you used to. Are you kidding me? You're going to look at your wife and you would tell her that she's not attractive anymore? That is so inconsiderate of any man that understand the power of words to say something like that to your wife. You know, oftentimes when I hear men talk about their wife putting on weight after having their babies, are you serious? After her body goes through all that trauma, after her body went through all that pain and she have to carry your seed for 9 months, and then after 9 months she delivered to you a beautiful baby boy or a girl, and you'd have the audacity to even call her fat. That is absolutely beneath what a husband is supposed to stand for. And I'm not saying that the wives are not supposed to speak to their husband. I will talk about that on a later time. But when a woman speaks to a man, he analyzes words. He analyzes what you're saying. If you're speaking to your husband and you say things to him that, as long as you are not disrespecting him, he doesn't necessarily pay too much attention to that. He's analyzing what you're saying. But when you as a husband speak to your wife, she's not just hearing the words that you speak, she's experiencing those words. When you say that, baby, I love you, what do you think you're doing? She's experiencing those words. When you say, you are amazing, she's experiencing those words. When you say that she's sexy, she's attractive, what do you think you're doing? You're elevating her worth, because the language that you speak, the words that you speak is life. The Bible says life and death are in the power of our tongue. See, we live at the level in which we speak. And so when a man speaks to his wife, you are speaking life into her. That's why a woman always become great friends with a man that knows exactly how to communicate. No other man on this planet should speak into your wife more than you do. Oh, y'all ain't helping me. I'm going to say it again. No other male on this planet Earth should be able to speak into your wife more than you do as a man of God, as a husband. That's why it's important for you to know the language of a woman, understand the anatomy and the physiology of your wife. That's why I don't understand how we become a society that wants to say the man and the woman are the same. We are not the same. We were not created the same way. We are equal in God's creation, in God's creative plan. The woman is not lesser than the man. She's not subservient to the man. We are equal. We are the same as it relates to God's creation. In the image of God created he them, a male and a female. But we are not alike as it relates to our biological creation. A man does not need a lot of words in order for him to feel loved by his wife. But your wife must hear you speak into her consistently. She needs that. She gravitates towards that. She cannot live without it. That is the reason why she's frustrated when the man does not speak to her. You often hear she say, "Oh, my husband doesn't speak to me. Only when he wants sex or only when he wants something, he doesn't really speak to me." I'm here to tell you guys that it's a lie. When they say that men doesn't know how to speak, we don't know how to communicate. That's a lie. You better learn how to communicate to your wife, because let me tell you something, the man that speak into her life, the man that listen to her speak, oh, you better believe that's the one that she's always going to think about. I'm telling you the truth. Notice any husband that takes the time to speak into his wife's life, speak to her, you automatically going to become her best friend. Absolutely, you're going to become her best friend. Oh, baby, you're amazing. And sometimes, can I tell you the truth? Your wife doesn't even want you to solve their problem. 99.9% of the time, when my wife come to me about a problem, she already know the answer to that problem. She know exactly how to solve her problems. All she wants me to do is to spend time to listen to her. Hey, a woman loves to hear when a man just listen to her. You don't have to say much, just be there. Lean in and just listen. Just pay attention to her. Make her feel like you are present and in the moment. Make her feel special. Take the time to just conversate with her. You hear the talk about pillow talk. You know what that simply means, pillow talk? Because a woman becomes vulnerable when you learn to talk to her. Oh, y'all, I'm trying to help y'all, man. Some of y'all brothers don't understand the power and the language in just speaking and listening to your wife. So let me break it down to you. A woman was created by God with certain characteristics and personality that can only be unlocked through the way you communicate. It's impossible for her to unlock it within herself. Hear me and hear me well. There are characteristics, there are personality, there are level of intimacy that she can only achieve by how you treat her. And one of the easiest way to bring her to that place is by learning the language of your wife. That's why romantic love does not make a marriage work. It's a part of what keeps the marriage going. But to make a marriage work is to understand each other. A woman is created by God. She's a female. She has estrogen. Her body goes through a cycle every 28 days. Do you understand those moments and those cycles, the season that her body is in? Do you understand the nature of the woman? Why intimacy and affection is so important to her? Why complimenting her and telling her that she's beautiful adds so much value to her life? And oftentimes we find that men, we kind of lack in that area. Well, I know, and I know exactly how to really add that kind of value to my wife. I've been married for 27 years. I grew up with 5 sisters, so I know what I'm talking about. But I'm trying to teach men this. I talk to men about this all the time. Oftentimes you hear wives say, "You're not listening to me. You're not paying attention to what I'm saying." Because we have a tendency to move from the hearing and understanding phase of a relationship, and we want to solve their problem. And so we bypass those moments when we should just stay silent and just listen. That's it. Not try to solve, not try to figure out what's happening. Just be in the moment in the conversation and just listen. You will be surprised what you can accomplish in that moment, in that relationship, when you just take the time to listen to your wife. Negative words will definitely destroy her personality. It will destroy her self-image. Your job is to build her up. God created you as a man to be a creator. Your wife is like a raw material in your hands. What are you doing with her? What are you doing with it? Are you building her up or are you tearing her down? Are you comparing her to another woman? Are you comparing her to someone in some type of Victoria's Secret magazine? No. Your job is to see the beauty in her. Your job is to add value to her life. Your job is that when she come around you, when she's with you, you are her safest place. She's supposed to be vulnerable with you. She's supposed to be able to feel naked and not ashamed. The Bible says in Genesis chapter 2 in verse 25 that the man and the woman, the husband and the wife, they were both naked and not ashamed. Can your wife be naked with you? Naked in her conversation, naked with her vulnerability, naked with her flaws, naked with the things that she's going through. Can she be naked with you? Because reality is, that's really what we are supposed to do in relationships. We're supposed to create that atmosphere. We're supposed to create that culture where our spouse is comfortable speaking to us. Comfortable. Man, listen, I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, but I spend a lot of time learning and understanding my wife. Oh, she's a very happy person. I know that for a fact. Why? Because I am a creative genius when it comes to understanding how to listen and communicate with my wife and to her. If I am doing anything and she needs my attention, I turn off my phone, I put it down, and I just listen to her. I take the time to understand what she's saying. I take the time to lean in the conversation, making sure that I am present and in the moment. Because there are times when we are present, but we're not really present. You can be right there in front of your wife and she's talking to you and you are not hearing a word that she's saying. It is one of the most disrespectful thing that you can ever do is to have your wife speaking to you, or anyone for that matter, or your husband speaking to you, and you're not paying attention. It is so disrespectful for your spouse to be talking to you, especially about something serious, and you're busy watching the television or you're on your phone. Can you just turn off the phone for a moment and just give your spouse that me time? And all of you men that are speaking negative to your wife and you think that you're helping her, you're not helping her. You're destroying her. You call her fat. You call her unattractive. You call her out of her name. You don't even realize that when you call her out of your name, you're calling yourself, because God created her out of you. Think about that for a moment. The Bible said that he that loveth his wife loveth himself. Love your wife as your own body. So when you call her names that are not in her character, when you call her outside of her name, you're calling yourself, because she came out of you. She's God's creation. And one of the reasons why I'm having this conversation is because we need to learn the language and know and understand exactly how to make relationships and marriage work. When your wife goes to the hairdresser to get her hair done, she should not have to ask you how her hair look. You're supposed to automatically see that her hair is done and compliment her. If she get a new dress, she put on something new. Your job is to look at her and say, babe, you look good. You look fine. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. You're attractive. You're sexy. Man, I just love to see you. Man, let me tell you something. I spend time to edify. I spend time to add value to my wife. There's not a day past where I don't find a reason to compliment her. I just had this conversation with my woman. Absolutely. Every moment that I get, if my wife said, honey, I'm going to the hairdresser, as she walked through the door, I'm looking to see exactly what she did to her hair and compliment her about it. If she put a streak in her hair, she doesn't have to tell me where that streak is. I know. Her nails, I'm looking at it. Every time she gets dressed and she's leaving the house, I'm complimenting her. Wow, I like that dress. I like that color. Because every time that you open up your mouth and you say something positive to your wife, you are creating an experience. I want you to listen to me. You are creating an experience. And men, we have got to learn to own that skill to be creator. You know, I often tell men all the time that, you know what? Let me do this demonstration to you. See this paper here? This is a white paper. You know, when I talk about love and relationship and intimacy, your wife is like a canvas. You are an artist. What kind of picture are you going to paint? Yeah. What kind of picture are you going to paint on this canvas? I'm here to tell you that you got to be so creative that you can learn and know exactly how to bring out the best in her. You have the ability, the God given ability to be a creative genius when it comes to your wife. She savored those moments. She cannot live without it. It is just as important as the air that she breathes. And oftentimes we don't do it. Men don't do it. And I'm here to tell you that if you want to unlock a higher level of intimacy, you need to take that raw material and you need to create something beautiful. Oh my God, I'm trying to help you. You need to create something so beautiful. I tell men all the time that you are an artist. Get the paintbrush. Get the paint and make sure that whatever you are creating, it is a masterpiece. You have the ability to do that. We need you, brother. This is right on time. My lady was going to leave me because she felt I didn't listen. That's why I come on live, because sometimes God allows me to show up at the right time. You must listen to your wife. I listen to my wife. I have great conversation. I make time for her so that she could just unwind and unlock her mind or emotion. It put her in a very vulnerable place. A matter of fact, a woman is more sexual and more intimate when a man listens to her. Are you hearing me? That's why pillow talk is so important. You want a woman to feel safe? Let her just talk to you and listen. Really? How did that happen, honey? What are you going to do about it? Is there anything that I can do? How can I help you? Most of the time, they already have the answer. They just want you to be there. Some of you men does not compliment your wife at all. And she pull up at the gas station. The gas station attendant is pumping her gas and telling her, man, you're beautiful. Wow, you're a gorgeous lady. You're beautiful. You're fine. You think she wants to hear that from another man? A matter of fact, to be honest with you, she's not even interested to hear that from another man. But the moment he opened his mouth and he say those things to her, he creates an experience that she will never forget. And you know where she's going to go the next time? That very same gas station. It's not because she's looking for the attention. It is because of the experience that she got by the very words that came out of that man's mouth. Your words have power. Your words is a creative genius. Your word is a creative force. When you open up your mouth and you talk to your wife, you speak into her life, you are adding value. You're either creating or you're destroying. But your job is to make sure that you never speak negative to your wife. Never speak a negative words to your wife. I'm going to say it again. Never speak negative to your wife, because she doesn't hear words. She experiences it. Have you noticed how a woman square her shoulder and walk when a man tell her that she's beautiful? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed the way she walk into the room when she get a compliment from a guy? Hey, I like your shoe. And she just looked down on her shoe just because you say that. Oh, I like your hair. And all of a sudden she just flash her hair. Thank you. Oh, I like that dress. I like the way you walk. And all of a sudden she just strutting and just walking because you elevate her. You create an experience. That is the reason why a lot of affair that happen with a woman that is going through problems in her marriage, in her relationship, and she find a male person that she can talk to, she's not after an affair. She's not after sleeping with that guy. I'm not talking about a woman that is whatever, sleep around. I'm not talking about that kind of woman. I'm talking about a conservative woman, a person that have value, has character, have integrity. 99.99% of the time, when they find themselves in those situations, it is because they found somebody that just take the time to listen to her. I'm sorry, but no other man is going to listen to my wife more than I do. And if you're not spending time or finding the time to listen to her and speak into her life, oh, you better be careful. You better be careful, because somebody else will. And it's going to be a whole lot of trouble, because the moment that person unlock that part of her brain, she can't turn it off. And she's not looking for sex. She's not looking for a relationship. It's the experience she got from those conversations that she's gravitating to. And it brought her into a place, it take her into a realm that all of a sudden she's expecting more of that. I'm trying to tell you something from a biblical, practical, applicable way. The first thing Adam did when he saw Eve was prophesy to her. He spoke into her life. Why aren't you speaking to your wife? Why do you find time to speak more about sports with your homeboys than you do talking to your wife? You know exactly more about who's supposed to be in the game, or who the coach is supposed to play, and why this person's supposed to get more playing time than this one. But when it comes to your wife, she just get one-liners. You don't spend time to really add value to her life and elevate her by way of the very language that you speak. You need to know the rhythm of your wife. And I'm speaking to the men in this broadcast. I will do one for the ladies, but this is speaking to the men. Don't speak negative to your wife. Don't speak negative to your wife. Learn the language of your wife. Learn the language of a woman. Learn the language of why God created her as a female. Yes, I said it. She is a female. She has estrogen as her dominant hormone. She has a womb. She's a female. I know there's this gender war and this gender, all that stuff going on, but let me tell you, I'm telling you now that my wife and I, we are equal, but we are different as it relates to God's creative plan and the biological genius of God's creation. We are not alike in that area. We're different. She has a womb. I don't. I don't know how to carry seed. I have the seed inside of me, but my wife carries that seed. She knows how to hold things. That's why a man must speak into his wife. That's why you got to talk to your wife about your goals, your dreams, your vision, and your aspiration. When you talk to your wife about your dreams and your vision, she will never forget it. You buy a house, your wife make it a home. You give her $1, she'll multiply that and give you back $10. You give her $10, she'll multiply that and give you back $100. She knows how to multiply. She's an incubator. She knows exactly how to duplicate things. And they all want us to be in the same basket, to look alike, be alike, and act alike. No, that's not how God intended for it to be. The woman has the womb. The man has the seed. When the both of them come together, it creates something beautiful. That's the reason why the very language that you speak to your wife, it can do so much to her life. The very words that comes out of your mouth, it creates something for her. Whether it's good or it's bad, you have the ability to create. But unfortunately for many, your tongue tear your wife down. And that's a problem. That is a problem. Never speak negative words to your wife. Never. If you think it, you better leave it right there in your mind. But never open up your mouth and ever say anything negative to your wife. Don't do it. Because you're not just speaking words. Your words create a feeling. Those feelings are experience for her. And the reality is, when you speak negative to your wife, she's going to believe what you say. I'm telling you, she's going to believe it. Oh, you're fat. You can't take that back. Oh, you're unattractive. You can't take that back. You couldn't. How could you possibly say those things to your wife? I don't care if she's a size 20. Your job is to make her feel comfortable in her own skin. And if she cannot be comfortable with you, who can she be comfortable with? Do you know that when your wife take off her clothes and she's naked, she's supposed to feel free? Y'all ain't ready for this kind of teaching, man. I'm telling you. Y'all ain't ready for this. I'm going to say it again. When your wife take off every piece of garment that she has on and she's absolutely naked as the day she is born, she's supposed to feel free to be a woman. The man that loves her, she's supposed to be naked. She's supposed to be able to just be free. I don't care if she have stretch marks. I don't care if she has, I don't care what happened to her. You as a man, you as a husband, you have a responsibility to make sure that you are her safest place. And if you can create that atmosphere for your wife, that's a problem. I know personally that there are a lot of women that don't allow their husband to see them naked in the light. See, I need to see what God blessed me with. Oh, yes. And my wife is comfortable in both places, in the dark and in the light. Because you create your wife. You literally have the power to create the kind of wife that you want her to become. It ain't about sex. It's deeper than that. What about intimacy? Into me you see. Intimacy is getting into the inner core of who she is. It's going beyond just her outward appearance, but seeing the deeper level, the deeper realm of who she really is. And the only way you can do that is by understanding your responsibility as a husband, as a provider, as a protector. And I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it over and over again. I don't care what social science or modern day psychology and is trying to tell us that the man and the woman are the same. We are equal, but we're not alike. We're not the same. The man and the woman are not the same. Look at God's creation and you can see it. It's as plain as day. I can tell you from my personal experience for being married for 27 years. When I look at my wife's body, when I look at her curvaceous body, when I look at her feminine quality that becomes attractive, I literally know exactly how to maximize her femininity. By allowing myself as a masculine man to tap into that realm and be able to literally show her through my action in how I treat her how amazing and beautiful she is. How could it possibly be that we are the same? When you look at the dynamic of the man, God, the Bible said, let us make man in our own image. And then God created the woman. There's a difference when you create something. When you create something, you literally spend time and take all the time with the details and the trimming and I'm telling you that God did a phenomenal job when he created the woman. The curvaceous body, the way her breast just sits, her hips, her lips, her fingertips. It's absolutely undeniably a beautiful thing. And people want to say that we are the same. It's not so at all. We're equal. Yes, we are. But when it comes to our differences, it's as clear as there is light and darkness. It is as plain as day. Oh my God. So you need to learn how to speak to your wife. I challenge you, men, that it's time for you to wake up to the reality about the nature of God relating to you as a man and how God placed you and created you, put you to sleep, take a rib, created the woman, presented her to you. And Adam lost his mind. He lost his mind. He literally got himself into a place where he began to see that there's something powerful and something amazing with what God presented to him. And he said, whoa, OMG, this is amazing. And he said, you are bone of my bone. You are flesh of my flesh. I will call you woman because you came out of me. I don't know about you, but I want to challenge you today. If you're a man, you're a husband, and you're listening to this, speak into your wife. Take the time to listen to her. She's going to become your best friend. Just listen and watch how she will unfold. Watch how her nature, her language, her rhythm, it's just absolutely going to blow you away. I know what I'm telling you. Practice it. Starting now. Just have a conversation with her. Just talk. Ask her a question. And listen. And see exactly how it changed your life. I promise you, it's going to change your life. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. And finally, never cut your wife off when she's talking to you. Don't do it. See, I know that as men, we want to just go into solve mode. That's how God created us. We want to solve everything. That's why we don't listen very well as men. Because we often want to bypass what we're hearing and trying to solve the problem. And the truth be told, your wife doesn't need you to solve her problem. Most of the time, she already know the answer to it. She just want to get it off her chest. Don't you cut her off when she's talking to you. Listen like it's the first time you're hearing it. Don't you cut her off. Don't you tell her, oh, baby, I heard that before. Oh, you talked to me about it yesterday. Oh, you talked to me about it 2 weeks ago. You talked to me about it a month ago. No, don't do that. Listen like it's your first time. Because for every time that she speak with you, every time that she's speaking to you, she is creating something. Your job is to be there so that she can experience you by way of you speaking back to her, engaging her in meaningful conversation, and by allowing her to be comfortable, to be naked in our conversation. Oh, you get more me time, you get more sex, you'll get more passion, you get more everything when you learn how to use the language of your spoken words to be a creative genius in her life. It will literally, absolutely change the trajectory of your relationship and your marriage. Guys, that's it for now. That's what I wanted to share with you. I pray and trust that you were blessed. May God bless you. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Again, guys, thank you, and some more thank you. Yeah, just make it happen. Just do it. I'm going to do one for the ladies, what they need to do for the men, because men are not very difficult to please at all. You just need to learn and understand how we operate, and it's going to be beautiful. So again, thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you. Until next time, what lies behind you and what lies before you are tiny matters compared to what lies within you. Greatness is inside of you. And if you trust God, and if you keep on working on yourself, He will help you to bring out your greatness. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I cannot wait to do this with you guys again. All right, guys, thank you, and some more. Thank you. Bye-bye.